This is Resolute, the 28-foot wooden launch boat, originally built in 1901 in the Herreshoff factory. It's now here at Iris to be restored again. Here we have the floor timbers, which are 18 inches in length. It's about 3 inches in width from the keel to the top of the floor timber, and we have the limber holes to lead the water to the deepest depth of the boat. If we look on the deck to the fore and aft end of the boat, we'll see the canvas that's on top of the deck starting to crack. It's especially cracking near where the tow rail is and where most of the edges are. It could be because it's folded into the tow rail a little too tightly, or maybe it's from the water runoff. On the interior as well as the exterior, we have paint that is starting to chip. The varnish is being stripped off as much as you would expect it to, seeing as it is 100 years old. Below the waterline, you can see that the wood is starting to rot. There's a lot of corrosion. Here we have the butt blocks. The butt blocks above the waterline are going to be kept in, and the butt blocks below the waterline are going to be replaced. Let's take a look at the mechanics. Towards the middle of the boat, on the port and starboard side, we have the gas tanks. They're about 4 feet 6 inches long. At one end, we have where the nozzle goes in. At the other end, we have these 1-inch diameter copper tubes that will feed the fuel to the engine, leading to the cables and pulleys that go to the aft end of the boat. Towards the middle of the boat, we have the engine, which is cased in aluminum, and it takes up a good amount of leg room if you are sitting in that area. So let's take out the engine and start deconstructing the boat.
It's taking a video. Patrick's taking a video.
I'll give you one.
Alright, start cranking it.
Well. Alright, so I think this is as good a time as any to take a look at the team we have. So here we have Christian. If he wasn't goofing around or doing nothing, he was probably bothering another team member. The nickname that we agreed on, I think, was Tall, Goofy, Giggling Little Bitch. Or for short, Tigga-Giggable. You're probably wondering where the giggling part comes from. This is Vinny.
Kat, you gonna do something or you gonna take videos?
So Vinny would miss days of school at a time, and he was often late to class. Why, you ask? Well, he'll either be playing video games back in his apartment or back in his hometown, New York, getting into bar fights. Or not, never mind. Here we have Andrew, who, like Vinny, also missed a lot of school days, either because he was trying to off himself or maybe he was also playing video games. Who else am I missing? Oh, that's right, Lucas. Or Mr. Clean. Or Gary the Snail. And here we have Gavin, who doesn't look too happy, either because that's who he is or because he ended up doing all the work. Also, it's hard to understand what he says because he talks fast.
You're
Right away, we could tell that the boat was built poorly and seemed to be rushed, seeing as nothing was square and there was a twist in the center line. There was also globs of epoxy in the seams of the boat that took a long time to get out. Lucas went ahead and hollowed out the boat. He didn't label or mark where anything was, but I guess that's for us to worry about in the future. But it doesn't matter right now because he was in go mode. So we're going to continue to go and keep deconstructing this boat. So if we take a look at the aft end of the boat, we will see the pulleys and cables that make up the steering, which turns the rudder. Okay, the 3 planks that were below the waterline are now taken out. It's time to make the molds. The molds make the shape of the boat. They could be either negative or positive. We will be using negative molds. The molds that we make will be placed at each station.
God bless you.
Here we can see Tigga Giggable making the track for the first mold to be cut out on.
This here mechanism is for building boats, okay? We build boats with this. Don't question me. Okay.
So the track is installed into the ground. The mold is pulled on top of the track. Lucas is now cutting out the mold. And then he's fine-tuning it with a router. And now it's complete.
Well, that ain't bad. It ain't there yet.
Time lapse.
Yeah, Pat, why don't you?
The process of putting the molds on is going to take about a week, which leads us into November. Here is the freshly steamed keel that will be put onto the boat, and here are the floor timbers that will be installed onto the keel.
Let's see, 1, 2, 3.
The process of installing frames is going to take a couple of weeks. As you can see here, one person is pre-drilling into the frame and into the floor timber with a right angle drill bit.
Fucking tits.
Quit dropping the F bomb. I'm gonna show my nono this video.
Yeah, you got paparazzis in
Yeah, he's gonna be like, who's this?
Here, Vinny is hammering a number 10 3-inch copper nail into the frame and through the floor timber. This starts the process of riveting. I'm going to start working on the transom frames. These will be put into the piece of the wood at an angle. Eventually, I will get it right so that the transom will be put onto that. So it's a new year and morale has boosted back up. We're only a month behind in the process, but I'm sure we can finish this in time. Oh yeah. Andrew, tell us what we're building.
We're building a fucking jazz classic called Resolute.
Yeah. So it's worth noting that around this time, Vinny has started the process of making a cold molded transom. He has started by bending these thin pieces of wood in the right shape that the transom is going to be. No.
What the hell is you doing?
I'm documenting. Vinny, what are you doing? Tell Norway what you're doing. Vinny is still working on the transom. I'm sure it's going to come out great. The hole for the propeller shaft needs to be drilled in a perfectly straight line. The pieces of plywood are so there are no splits in the floor timbers. The boat is completely sealed with all the planks put on, except for that one spot in the boat where my foot went through. Okay, so it's springtime and we're taking the molds off the boat. We are way behind schedule at this point, but it can't be that bad. It's not like some big disease outbreak across the world is going to happen anytime soon. Except that's exactly what happened. We missed 3 months of school and we're going to have to make that time up in the summer. We are going to do the worst part of building this boat in the hot days of July. What is the worst part of building this boat? It's called fairing. All right, I'm going to cut to the chase here and just let everybody know that we didn't finish the boat. Yep. Morale was depleted to an absolute zero when COVID came around. And frankly, I'm tired of working for free. This has turned from a learning experience to backbreaking, labor-intensive work. Carpentry is a skilled trade that is in very high demand around this time. And the fact that we've been doing it for free for 2 years is starting to bother me. So I think I'm ready to get out into the workforce.
I tried, and I tried even more. I cried, and I can't go on. I pressed, I pushed, I yelled, and then get hopes of some success. The inevitable fact is that it never will impress. I've no more fucks to give, my fucks have run dry. I've tried to go fuck shopping, but there's no fucks left to buy. I've no more fucks to give, the more fucks I've tried to get. I'm over my fuck budget and I'm now in fucking debt.
This boat was designed for use as a tender on destroyers. One taken by USN. USN is University School of Nashville. Oh, no, the United States Navy.